So if there's one thing that life has taught me, it's to fucking never judge anybody by what they look like. Because some motherfuckers can look like the calmest, most, like, not hurting anyone kind of people. And then they just morph into a fucking crazy dinosaur that can literally demolish an entire building. So I wanted to kind of tell you guys a little funny story about this that made me, like, really change my perspective on, like, viewing people and just, like, judging them just by what they look like. And this was fucking crazy because it almost ended with me getting my head bashed in by a chair. And I'll tell you about how that, led up to it. So, basically, guys, what happened was it was a normal day, fucking 3 years back. It was a great day. And, I'm sitting there just, playing Xbox like I usually do. And I got a call from my friends. And he was like, yo, do you want to go up to the mall? I was like, sure. I'm like, come over and meet me here and we'll walk up there. He's like, all right, dude. So he comes to my house and we play a little bit of Xbox and then we just get ready to go. I put on my shoes, I get my keys, and we leave the house. And I'm walking up to the mall, and the walk there was pretty quiet, nothing crazy happened. And we get to the mall. And when we get there, we actually saw these two girls from our school that we knew, and he knew them better than I did, and he kind of said hello to them. But, I didn't really pay no mind to them because I'm not really friends with them. So I order Taco Bell while he's talking to them, and I get my burritos, and I fucking sit down at this table waiting for him, finish talking to them. And he comes over to me, and he goes, dude, something really crazy is about to happen. I was like, what's going to happen? He's like, I don't know, but I think there's going to be a fight. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Because if you guys don't know, I have a curfew at my mall. Like, if you're not 19, you can't be at the mall. And the whole reason we have a curfew now is because of this incident, so I'll tell you about it. So I'm like, all right, what's going to happen? He's like, I don't know, but there's these two other girls that are really pissed, and apparently there's just about to be one big fight. And I was like, oh, fuck. So, I eat my burrito, and I'm sitting there eating, and I see these other two girls walk in, and they go up to the table, and they're talking, and the conversation, like, I can kind of see by their facial expressions that they're pissed at each other. And they talk for like a good 5 minutes, and then they immediately split up, and this one group of girls stays at the table that they were at, and the other group of girls finds another table across the food court. And I asked my friend, I was like, what the fuck was that? They looked really mad. And my friend's like, I don't know, those might be the girls that are fighting them. And I didn't really know, so I just kind of sat there, finished my food, and we sat there for like a good 20 minutes. And after this 20 minutes goes by, people from all over the place are showing up. Like, a lot of people from my school were showing up that I knew. A lot of people from all over the district were showing up. Just like shit tons and shit tons of different people that were around my age category were showing up. And we're just hanging out with the people, all these new people are coming in and we're just saying hello to them. And it ends up to be like 7 or 8 of us just sitting at one table. Like, we combined 2 tables and we're just sitting around it. And they're all talking about random shit. And this one kid's like, did you hear about what's supposed to happen tonight? And he asked me. And I was like, yeah, isn't there supposed to be some like fight going on with these 2 girls? And my friend's like, yeah, are you ready to see this? I was like, to be honest, man, if it starts to happen, I'm probably just going to dip because I'm not trying to, deal with that. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't want to get kicked out of the mall. Like, I live right by this mall. I come here a lot. He's like, yeah, I know what you mean, man. If something happens, I'll just let you know, and you can just kind of walk the other way. I was like, all right, dude, thanks. So, something fucking ended up happening, guys. So we're sitting there at the table, and we hear screaming. And we look over, and it's actually pretty nearby. There's a fight that happened, that fucking broke out. These 2 girls are hitting each other, and then another girl jumps in, and then this other girl's friend jumps in, and it's a group of 4 fucking girls going at it, just in one big pile. And people are crowding, everyone's watching them, they're on the fucking ground pulling each other's hair. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm trying to get around this group of people because my food court isn't like the biggest thing in the world. Like, my mall isn't that huge. But it's, kind of big enough to maneuver around. So I'm trying to get by this crowd of fucking people because there's so many kids gathered around and there's adults watching. Like, legitimately, there was, instead of running to get help, there was adults, like, in this crowd of people watching what was going on. And all of these girls were jumping in. Girls were trying to break it up. While at the same time, girls were trying to fight her. And, like, it was just basically one big fucking chaotic fight. And I said nope, and I was like, fuck that shit, and I walked out. And while I'm walking away, a fucking chair gets thrown. A legitimate chair gets fucking thrown across the mall, and it goes right over my goddamn head. And I was like, what the fuck? And I look over, and some girl who wasn't even involved in the fight whatsoever decided it'd be a good idea to grab a fucking chair and throw it across the mall and try and land it in the middle of this fucking pile of girls. So after this chair goes right by my head, I turned around and looked at her, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And she looked at me and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. And I was like, what are you trying to do, get arrested? She's like, no, I'm trying to help my friend, she's in that fight right now. And I just look at her like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're throwing chairs to help your friend. I think the best thing to do would probably to, like, try and break the fight up or something, but no, you're throwing chairs at people. So I just kind of gave her a dirty look and walked away because she almost just hit me in the head with a fucking mall chair. And I walked over to a skate shop nearby that was just by the food court, and I just hung out in there for a little bit and rode a penny board and explained to one of the workers how I almost got hit in the head with a chair and watched a crazy fight go on. And the worker actually went out there to check to see if the fight was still going on, and he told me that it was all clear. So I went out there to see everything, and, nothing too crazy was going on. Like, there was some hair on the ground, and these two girls were in cuffs, and they were, like, being questioned. But pretty much everyone's split. And the whole time I'm just, thinking there, like, fuck that girl, like, really, she almost hit me in the head with a chair. But I'm sitting there watching these two girls get, like, interviewed by police, and I saw these two security guards who were talking about it, and I saw a few of my friends actually at a table, so I went over there and was talking to them and, like, asked what happened after I left, and they just explained to me that, like, basically security came and broke it up and that the police were called. But yeah, I thought I would tell you guys this fucking crazy story, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more shit like this, make sure you hit the like button, and make sure you leave a comment leaving me your stories below, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.